Hi Andrew, just want to speak to you about ETL's year in review and get a roundup of how the year's gone so far. So starting it off, what has been the biggest achievement of the year for you globally? Big project wins?
Okay, well, I think, from our point of view as a company, the satellite industry is, while it operates in a very big world, technically it's a very small world, and we know all the companies we do business with very well, whether they're suppliers or our customers. So what's been fantastic is that I think as a satellite family, we've actually kept communications together, and I think the new technology of Zoom and Teams and other means of communications has been great. And I just want to say a big thank you to all our customer base for keeping the communications up and working as well from home as they do when we meet them in their offices around the world. So it's a big thank you, really.
Yeah, perfect. And looking at 2021 and the year ahead, what are the key satcom trends that you envision for your region or satcoms globally?
Okay, well, I sort of look after the global market. So I'm aware that even though we've had COVID, the actual investment by many of the satellite manufacturers has continued on new satellite constellations. And I'm really pleased this year that we've been involved in supplying equipment for the SES mPOWER constellation, as well as for the Eutelsat Connect constellation, which is going to go live in the next year or so. And obviously we're seeing a lot of activity, a really cool activity actually, from investment from non-satcom companies, which are becoming now big players, such as the Project Kuiper from Amazon, and also the other one from Elon Musk's investment as well, which is SpaceX. So we are really quite excited by that, because it actually means that our engineers are going to have to really step up to the plate and start redesigning the teleport equipment to actually work in very different ways with very different satellite constellations, while still delivering a really reliable signal. So it's actually quite exciting next year.
Perfect. And which, specifically speaking, ETL product release do you think has had the biggest impact on on the global satcoms market?
Well, this year, 2020, has been the launch of our Falcon frequency converter range. And while frequency converters are well known and well used in teleports around the world, ETL has, using a term that I do love, Japanese, a well-known product. We've effectively taken proper technology and improved it even further. So we've taken our really good architecture, hot swap and multi-module, and actually made a very standard product just a little bit cooler and a little bit more affordable and a little bit easier to use. So I think Falcon frequency range has been a real sort of killer app, as they say, in the world.
A disruptor in the market.
Yeah.
And finally, can't ignore COVID this year. How has the pandemic impacted your life? Have you been able to adapt or learn something? Like how have you overcome COVID this year?
Well, I think the biggest effect has been the fact that I don't have jet lag quite as often as I used to, and I don't miss sitting on planes on long haul, which is a necessary requirement for our global marketplace to go and see satcom customers around the world. But I think, as I said at the beginning, we have adapted well. I think the whole team has adapted well, not least from communicating to our companies around the world, but also from working from home. I mean, most of our engineers have remained in the office. I mean, ETL has a fantastic socially distanced office. So, we are still operating as normal. We're still manufacturing, we're still delivering. And here we are 6 months into our financial year, and we're on target, which is great news. So I think it's an indicator of how well ETL performs, but it's also an indicator that the satellite industry has carried on regardless. around the world, and it's huge credit to our customers for doing this.
Perfect. Great. Thank you very much for your 2020 year in review. And yeah, brilliant.